2018 Subaru Ascent Driver's Notes Review Vertical Bar Subaru Redux. The 2019 Subaru Ascent is the follow-up to the odd and slow-selling Subaru Tribeca. From 2005 to 2014, Subaru sold just 76,774 Tribecas in the US at a time when the company's sales as a whole were on a climb. As we put it in our first drive review, the Ascent can be considered a sort of mulligan. The new model comes out hot and heavy against strong three-row competitors like the Honda Pilot, Toyota Highlander, Mazda CX-9 and American offerings like the Chevy Traverse and the Ford Explorer. Our tester is the top-shelf touring trim. Standard features on the Ascent include Subaru's EyeSight driver assist technology, adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, keyless entry, 3-zone climate control, and a turbocharged 2.4-liter flat 4 mated to a CVT. Power, like nearly every Subaru, is sent to all four wheels. For $45,670, the Ascent Touring nets you features like leather trim, power adjustable front seating, a panoramic moonroof, LED lighting, a power opening rear gate and an upgraded audio system with an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Editor-in-Chief Greg Maglia: I found myself liking the Subaru Ascent much more than I expected. The Turbo 4 and light steering made it surprisingly engaging to drive. I enjoyed how this one was trimmed out, and the cabin managed to be both woodsy and elegant. It also offered an excellent view of my surroundings, which is not a given for a beefy SUV. Style-wise, I don't love it. I think it looks better in pictures than in person. It seemed a little overwrought in my driveway. If you need a people hauler, and specifically, you need 3 rows, this one is worth a look. If you don't need 3 rows, I'd go with an Outback or Forester. That being said, this is a vehicle Subaru absolutely needs in order to have a more complete presence in the US market. It's highly competitive with the VW Atlas, and it should add some solid incremental sales to Subaru's volume. Consumer editor Jeremy Korzeniewski: I've logged more time in the Subaru Ascent than any other staffer here at Autoblog, having attending the automaker's initial drive event a few months ago, and then signing a different one out to schlep my family on a couple of long drives in and around Seattle. Wash. Sometimes it takes a good long drive to really figure out a car's merits and demerits. Other times, though, initial impressions are confirmed. My first stint with the Ascent had me convinced it's fully class competitive in the continuously ballooning 3-row family crossover segment. After driving it for a week and piling up several hundred miles, now I know for sure the Subaru Ascent is the most conscientiously developed vehicle in its class. Grab handles are perfectly placed, door openings are generous, sightlines are excellent, and the interior materials feel like they'll hold up to the kind of constant abuse that a family with kids will inevitably inflict. The Ascent isn't what I'd call sporty, but it is definitely comfortable. The turbocharged 4-cylinder never feels like it's struggling, even with a full load of passengers, and the CVT is programmed well enough that it mostly blends into the background. The steering is boosted a bit more than I'd like, but the ratio is appropriate for the car's audience. My biggest beef with the Ascent is that it just isn't very fun. It's a well-implemented tool, sure, but not something I'd ever feel particularly attached to. Considering that cars like the WRX and BRZ prove that Subaru knows how to build some excitement into its products, labeling the Ascent as a practical but boring machine feels like a letdown. Thing is, I'd still recommend the Ascent to the majority of buyers looking for a good family car. There isn't a competitive vehicle in the 3-row crossover class that I feel emotionally attached to, and the Ascent just sweats the small stuff better than the rest. Manager, production, Eddie Sabatini, all the creature comforts you'd expect from a 3-row SUV, but the CVT left something to be desired for me. Loved the layout, tech, and styling of the interior. Exterior styling is fine but nothing more, and it had plenty of passing power, but not my first choice in the segment. Associate editor Joel Stocksdale: bland with power, that's how I would describe the Subaru Ascent. Even from the crossover's introduction, I struggled to stifle a yawn. It looked like a big Forester then, it looks like one now. It's basically the boxy little crossover puffed up and stretched out, and actually more boring than the little one.